I'll never forget my first solo trip. It wasn't really solo at first because I signed up with this volunteer organization called Global Works, but it was still solo in a way, you know? I was alone in the sense that I was going into the unknown. And the fear. Oh, the fear was so real. At first, everything seemed fine. I signed up in a rush of excitement, but then as the date got closer, that fear crept in. I started thinking, what the hell was I doing? What if something went wrong? What if this was a huge mistake? So, what did I do? I changed the date. Instead of going in September like I had planned, I pushed it to December. I thought giving myself more time would somehow make it all easier. Spoiler alert, it didn't. But it gave me space to second guess, to stew over every little detail, and the more I talked to people about it, the more I heard their fears. They had stories of things that could go wrong. They had all these warnings. Even my mom told me, oh, the reviews about the volunteer organization was bad. It was just a collective of anxieties around me. Everyone had something to say. It's funny, isn't it? The way people warn you when they don't know what you're capable of or what you might discover for yourself, just because they couldn't dare do it themselves. But then the day came. I got on the plane, I met the driver, and remembered thinking, what have I gotten myself into? The 6-hour drive to this remote town was like something out of a dream. It was just me and the guy sitting in the front, and then his wife and 2 kids in the back. It was a full car. Honestly, I didn't know what I was expecting, but this wasn't it. I was expecting like a nice bus full of other passengers. Nope, this was a very personal, intimate car ride. There were no signs of civilization for miles, just endless potholes and crazy water in the roads. Honestly, I thought we were going to drown at one point. It was completely flooded. I thought, this is it. We're going to sink. I'm going to go down in some foreign country and no one will ever know because I have 0 cell phone service. But we didn't sink. We made it through. And when I arrived in this tiny, secluded town, well, my expectations were so low that it felt like everything after that could only be better. And it was. I made lifelong friends. I met the most beautiful, kind-hearted girls. I went surfing for the first time, which, by the way, is a whole other level of terrifying and amazing. Also, the surfing instructor, yeah, we might have fallen in love, but that's another story. I witnessed the miracle of the arribada, which is the nesting of thousands of sea turtles at the same time. It was like something I could have only imagined in a dream or in a movie, and it hit me so deeply. It still takes my breath away, honestly, when I think about it. And then on top of all that, this guy that I met, I'm telling you, I wasn't even looking for that. This was my way of escaping. I thought, wow, I had such a bad year. I'm going through this whole thing with this guy back home. I'm just going to go have a girls trip, a solo awakening. And wow, I guess the universe just works in mysterious ways. They always say you always meet somebody when you're not looking. Well, I guess that's right. Looking back now, I realize that I went into the trip with nothing but fear and low expectations. And I think it was the secret to all of it, because I didn't expect anything. I didn't have a checklist of things to do or places to be. I didn't put pressure on myself to have some perfect Instagram-worthy experience. I just let myself be. And in doing that, I found so much more than I have ever imagined. It's funny how fear works, how it can honestly paralyze you, how it can trick you into thinking you're not capable. But then you take the first steps into the unknown and something shifts. You start to trust yourself. You start to realize that fear is just a part of the journey. It's not the end of it. It's not even the worst part of it. Now when I travel solo, it's not out of fear anymore. It's because I know what I'm capable of. I know that the unknown isn't something to be scared of. It's something to embrace, actually. And I didn't know if I would have learned that without the first trip, without the 6-hour drive, without the flooded roads, without knowing anything about this volunteer website that just had, not so good reviews. If I didn't try surfing, I would have never met him. If I would have just not walked out onto the beach every day while the girls were sleeping and just had my alone time. If I would have gotten a SIM card, I would have just not been in the moment, ever. Without this first trip, I would have not started this YouTube channel. I would have not gone back to Costa Rica to see this guy again and live with him and see what it's like. I would have not experienced these horrible nights at the airport being so uncomfortable. But you got to do what you got to do when you want to experience things and see things for yourself. This had brought me
so
to
as you can tell, it is very dark. It is actually past 9:30 p.m. and my bus isn't coming till 11. So basically the main goal here is don't get mugged and don't get lost because I have no service or anything. Yay!
And
hopefully I see something nice at least in 3 hours.
That brought me to Costa Rica, some troubles at home.
In Prague.
I also ran away to Europe because of the same troubles. I just thought this cycle I just couldn't end. And everybody, again, installed fear in me, or they were questioning, you can't run away from your problems. You can't run away, blah, 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 blah. But look, I did. And running away helped me so much. That trip, it was wild, it was messy, uncertain adventures. It was the beginning of my love for solo travel, and I'll never forget how it changed me. Having this time with my family in Poland too was amazing. I couldn't be more blessed with this time I shared with them because you never know who's going to leave you. And honestly, these magical moments is what keeps families alive and what keeps you alive, knowing where you're from, who you got your personality from, who you look like. It's all in your genetics. But like any solo traveler, the journey isn't without bumps. Sometimes you find yourself staying in those cheap hostels because, hey, you're on a budget, right? And yeah, sometimes things go as planned or they don't. I had a moment in Italy where I got sick. Nothing too dramatic, just a wild endangered plant bit me and I got these massive blisters all over me. But hey, when in Rome, as they say. But that's just one beautiful thing about solo traveling. Your schedule is yours. So when I had to go to the doctors and I had to buy all these things and it came out of my pocket, I wasn't feeling bad for interfering with anybody else's schedule. Was I scared? Yes. Did I want somebody to hold my hand and help me? Yes. And was I also trying to get to Venice that same day? And the last train was at 4 p.m., but I also didn't want to arrive in Venice at nightfall? Yes. Did it all happen? 100%. But, that is also what solo traveling does. It puts you in these uncomfortable positions where you cannot break down. You cannot call somebody. You cannot beg for help. You can't wait for somebody to pick you up in a tow truck. You have to do it on your own. And this was the best 30th birthday gift I could give myself. There shouldn't be such a bad tone with people who want to run away, because running away was what helped me heal. And running away is what put me in this uncomfortable position and this unknown, and just a couple of dollars in my pocket, just one backpack, and to see the world. Helped me and love myself more, honestly. I was with no cell phone service during the day as I walked around, and it was just like I was living in the 90s again with a paper map. And that is my biggest accomplishment from all of these trips, is going without a SIM card. We're going without Wi-Fi. And of course, once you go solo traveling, which I hope you get inspired by after watching this long video, so congratulations for making it this far, the best feeling is when you go home. So thank you guys so much for watching.